Hi everybody, it's Anita. Welcome to my channel, Holding a Hand Through Hell. Today we're going to be talking about boundaries and self-care. A lot of people have um, issues with self-care and setting boundaries, and I happen to be one of them. I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten older, but it has been a struggle. I always, when I was younger and coming up, I always felt like I had to help uh, fix fix something if I was talked about it and stuff, and so I would jump in inappropriately. And then I've also had others um, overstep my boundaries, right? Where I say certain things and it just doesn't work out. Um, like trying to be honest with somebody and then telling them that you don't like a certain thing, like, please don't do that. I would rather you just honestly tell me, and then that way we can work through it. But they still continue to do it, right? And I'm sorry. This has just been a difficult week. I've had a hard week. Um, I'm trying to do self-care by doing these videos, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to help my little fur baby cross the rainbow bridge, and I'm so beyond sad about that, because she's just been such a little love bug, but I can't stand to see her in pain anymore. Um, she has a lot of health issues, and one of them is neurological, and it's just hard. So my self-care is doing a video about boundaries and self-care, um, which I do have a problem with. I have a tendency of jumping in because I want to help people, even when those people uh, don't really ask for it. I just kind of intuitively know that they need assistance in a certain area. And so I jump in that area, and they're grateful for it, but they didn't ask for it, right? And it adds pressure onto me, or I'm adding my own pressure onto myself about that, um, because I am giving so much, and voluntarily, but I don't really stop to think about the consequences of what that volunteering of that help, either wanted or not wanted, does. Now, most people appreciate it, and some people will actually be firm with me, which I actually prefer, because I do have a thick skin, and sometimes it's not as obvious to me. It's more natural for me to jump in and be of help. Um, one instance, or one situation I remember, is that I found out that a coworker's child had been hospitalized, right? He had ongoing health issues, and I just jumped in. I took food to them to the hospital. I went and handled some stuff. This happened around the holidays. Um, and it wasn't asked for, whatever, and they really appreciated it, I think. But at the same time, I think they were the type of people who really would not have told me if they thought I was overstepping their bounds. They just go, "Oh, that's Anita," right? And so I have learned my lessons with that, um, because sometimes I overextend myself, and then I have to backstep, which can cause more problems. So I didn't really respect um, the situation, I feel, by doing that. And so, like I said, I didn't recognize it. And when it was pointed out to me, it really got me thinking um, about the kinds of boundaries that I have and the ones I didn't have. So when I was coming up, I was always made to feel like I had to fix it. So, like, you do those errors as you're growing up and learning and stuff, and they go, Anita, you should know better. And here you are, a 7-year-old child, and you've never had that situation before, and you're being told you need to know better. Or you know better, you're setting an example for your younger siblings. Because I happen to be the oldest. And yes, I do have the oldest sister syndrome situation. Um, so I just, yeah, I've gotten better at it. I ask always now if I hear somebody and I feel like they're possibly in need for something. I always ask first, and then I respect whatever it is that they tell me. Yes, I would really appreciate the help, but before I've done that, I've established my own boundaries within myself. What am I willing to offer them um, in this situation? What is it that I'm willing to do for them, right? Because if you're constantly giving and not paying attention to what your needs are and your own life and your situation, then how are you going to be able to help somebody else, right? And how are you going to expect those other people to respect um, your boundaries when you haven't even really set any? So I now take a look at what boundaries and situations I'm getting myself into before I volunteer and I set some. I'm going to be having, hopefully, I got in a car accident a little over a year ago, and I've had this surgery that is needed to happen, and there's been delays and stuff, and so I talked to my cousin because I'm not going to be able to like stand on my foot for like 6 weeks, so I'm going to need help because I also am a caregiver for my mother. So I need some help. And so she volunteered to come and help me. And we had a really great discussion, like what does that help look like? What do I want? What do I need from her? And what she expects when she gets here, and what I expect. And I don't expect her to like because I happen to be a control issue too, which I'm trying to learn how to move past, but that's a that's a whole other learning experience. I don't know. We'll see. But I truly appreciate her and the fact that she's willing to do this because it's going to be 6 weeks. It's a long time, especially when you're talking about being away from your family. And I know that she's doing it up from a place of love, but we had to have that conversation because I don't want her feelings to get hurt or her feel taken advantage of. And I don't want to feel like I'm like, you know, like the potential of me being afraid of saying something to her about whatever is going on in the moment. Like, if I get upset about something or she's upset about something. So we had to have that talk about where our boundaries are and stuff like that. And we both agreed that we're both adults and can have a conversation. But for me, and because I do have such a history regarding boundaries and where to put them, I felt like it was important. So we had that, and that's really great. So when the surgery actually happens and she comes out, then I can, you know, we can have that start. So we already know where our boundaries are, or not all of them, but the major ones. And I think also too, I think that setting boundaries is also like a self-care. And this is why I'm combining both boundaries and self-care, because it is caring for yourself. It's recognizing where your own boundaries are with others, and where your boundaries are with others and where others' boundaries are with you, right? My It's a hard thing because I I really do um, empathize with people, very empathetic about empathy. And this year I've had to be extremely selfish, and this is not a comfortable spot for me. I'm not comfortable with this at all. Um, because I'm identifying, I think, my own flaws within myself, and what it is that I need, and how I need to start prioritizing myself, which I honestly can say I've never really done. So yeah, so self-care can look like different things to different people. For me, it can look like a 15-minute walk, or maybe going to a movie, taking a long shower, cuddling with my fur baby. There's also um, other suggestions, which is like, maybe reading a book or listening to music, or journaling, or depending on how much time you have. Self-care doesn't have to be like a certain period of time. It's just as long as you're doing it, right? So self-care can be 5 minutes, self-care can be 15 minutes, self-care can be an hour, 2 hours. You know, a self-care can be a moment, just a moment, like 2 or 3 minutes for self-care, to take a deep breath, a cleansing breath. Let whatever it is that is stressing you out, annoying you, or whatever, and just taking a big breath and letting it go and being in that moment for that time. Um, I often, when I'm feeling pressured or feeling anxious and stuff, it's really hard for me to take those moments. And I have a wonderful friend who gave me some um, like well-being cards. They're like different cards to like help you, to help you with self-care, and taking that time for yourself. And it just gives you suggestions. You don't have to do everything, but some of the situations and suggestions for this one was listening to a podcast, and you tell yourself, um, I will take care of myself by, right? And then how it made me feel when you take it to actually see. I have a card. I don't know how to switch it so you can read it the right way, but yeah, it's been very, very instrumental for me since I've gotten these, um, to help me be more mindful and focused. Mindfulness also is a form of self-care. Being mindful of the things that you're doing, being aware of the stuff that you're doing, um, and making sure that you're, listening to yourself, and you are making sure you're getting enough rest, that you're getting enough water, that you're getting enough of what you need to be able to charge your batteries to offer that help to whoever it is you're helping, or for just for yourself to recharge your own batteries. Um, Especially for, I think it falls for young women and caregivers, because not that anybody can't do it and should do it. It is, but I think it falls more difficult and harder to find those moments when you're a caregiver or a mom. So I think that uh, the one thing that I would say is do something that you have a love for or had a love for. There's a lot of things that I loved when I was younger that have kind of fallen by the wayside, and not because I don't love those things, right? It's the fact that I didn't keep in practice. I didn't keep doing those things because other things took priority. And I prioritize a lot of people and situations over what I needed. So I'm changing that this year. I had a good friend that I had to step back from um, because of my own health issues and um, a situation with my mom. And Steph and I felt bad because she was going through such a difficult time, and I wanted to be there so bad, but I just couldn't. I couldn't anymore, and I hope one day she finds it in her heart to forgive me. But it's what needed to happen, and um, I wish I would have been not such a chicken too, because I was pretty chicken shit about the thing, because it's like I couldn't face her, and I feel bad about that, but again, I have to look at my own mental health, and maybe one day I'll get brave enough to apologize in person. But right now, I just can't. I don't feel like I'm emotionally strong enough to be able to do that. And I've prioritized others for so long of my life, and I need to work on myself, good, bad, or indifferent. And this is my self care. This is me setting a boundary, and it's harsh boundaries. Recognize that it's a harsh boundary, but I didn't know how to do it any other way. And yeah, so there's that. See, told you, not perfect. I really am not perfect. Um, I get accused of that sometimes, and I'm not. I'm far from it, but um, I try to be a good person every day, and I do my best, and I try to lead with kindness and compassion always. Whether I agree with the person or I disagree with the person, and a lot of people also take my silence as agreement for whatever situation, and that's not the case. It's more of, I'm allowing you to have your opinions, and those are yours, and who am I to tell you that you have to be different? Not that I won't say anything, but I pretty much, you know, I pretty much just allow the person to be who they are. Um, I am working on self-care and trying to reestablish old loves and see if I still love them. Like, like I already figured out, crochet is out. Okay, I used to love to crochet. Apparently, no. Uh, that passion has gone bye-bye. I I've gone it. Um, However, I do love to craft. So I have like little crafting projects and stuff. I have a friend who had a cardboard gingerbread contest, and I made the cardboard gingerbread, and it turned out so cute. Um, but yeah, so and I really enjoyed that and stuff. So it's kind of kicked off my year for being able to have those, make those rediscoveries. Um, Already down one, but up one too. So my next thing is going to be, I think, music and stuff. I used to listen to music all the time. In fact, I don't think I really ever had the television on. I had music on all the time, and I haven't done that in a long time either. So I'm going to reestablish my love for music, I believe. And I don't know if you've seen it, but that new song by Cody Lee, oh my God. He's from America's Got Talent, right? Wonderful young man um, with special needs. But my God, what a talent that boy is, and or that young man, I should say young man, because he is a young man. But he's got a beautiful, beautiful song out now, and I've just fallen in love with it, and it's reestablishing my entry back into music and listening to music. So that's my self-care. So I wanna challenge you in um, finding ways to recognize your own boundaries and being respectful of your own boundaries, and that it's okay if somebody gets upset about it. That's where I get the problem, is that I don't want anybody mad or upset. And so I'm trying to just establish my own boundaries and identify them, and I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. And so we'll be readdressing this issue of boundaries, and hopefully I have a questionnaire stuff that I'm going to be doing to learn how to establish those boundaries, or to establish boundaries, because I really don't know. Um, all I know is that the ones that I've already set for the year have been pretty cut and dry, and I recognize that. Um, and the self-care part, I definitely want to challenge you to take at least 15 minutes out of your day to do something for yourself and to feed your inner self and do self-care. That's what my goal is. I haven't made it 100% yet, but I try to at least take the 15 minutes out and do something that feeds me, like reading a book, or like I said, I'm going to reestablish stuff. So maybe I can add that into part of my self care. So I'm going to do that. So, okay, we will be getting to the conservatorship part of it. Um, Hopefully on my next video, but this week was, like I said, was just really too hard for me to tackle that subject right now. So I've given myself grace and just will do boundaries and self-care. I like it. So, okay, I hope everybody has a good day, evening, and I'm hoping to post within the next couple of days. I'm still learning a lot. I mean, there's a lot to absorb, and there's so many different videos out there on to try to how to instruct, and I probably should have done those before I just hopped on, but I I was afraid that if I didn't do it, I wouldn't do it, and this is a changing year for me in my life's journey, and yeah, I didn't want to chicken out because I can't be the queen of procrastination. All right. All right. I hope you all have a good day. Until next time, um, keep compassion and kindness forward. Bye.